Let's get ready to rumble!
You're listening to the Goof Norton Radio Show.
He's the best of the best of the best.
He has a wonderful voice.
If you don't like him,
you don't have a soul.
I'm sure your sister will.
Hey, babe, you want to go out?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another broadcast of the Goof Norton Radio Show. It's episode 57, 58, episode 58. It's almost the end of season 1, and we're getting real close, and I'm getting really excited. So we've got some exciting news for you guys, a couple of follow-up stories, and then some news stories about some producers and some creators leaving their companies. Also, we got some Fallout. We got some Fortnite follow-up news, and we got some Borderlands follow-up news. So let's get straight into it. Hope you guys are all having a good day out there. A few episodes ago, I talked about Fortnite and how people were very unhappy with Season 10 because of the mechs. Because people hated the mechs. They were a terrible decision. I've heard from many people, streamers especially, I've heard them saying it, like, yeah, they don't like the mechs are trash, all that stuff. And the article came out on PC Gamer about a day ago that Epic stands by Fortnite's mechs, says they cause relatively few eliminations. And I apologize if you can hear some thunder in the background. It's raining heavy here, so that's just something I can't help. So as of late, if you watch any Fortnite streamer or browse the subreddits, you'll get drenched in frustrated commentary about Season 10's brute mech vehicle. The most vocal players aren't too happy with how powerful the mechs are against their usual tactics, even after their spawn rate was reduced in area modes, and the version 10.10 patch made incoming mechs attacks louder and clearer. These players were expecting the mechs to get the boot in 10.10 or at least a significant nerf, but the mech persists, and Fortnite teams penned a short blog post explaining why. And part of the article reads, the mission of Fortnite is to bring players of all skill levels together to have a fun experience where anyone can win. For example, everyone having a shot at that first elimination or victory royale moment and the satisfying feeling that comes with it. Right now, we know that there are players out there who have never had an opportunity. Another part of the mission is to provide spectacle and entertainment when playing Fortnite. The Brute was added at the start of Season 10 with this mission in mind. Since then, we have seen players who had previously struggled with getting eliminations acquiring more, while the number of eliminations earned by more experienced players remained steady. And that is the end of the little segment from the article. The mechs represent a way in for players who lack skill in building, but they require more map awareness, precise aim, and weapon management, and 2 people to pilot efficiently. They ruin players who are caught off guard at close range, but are loud, huge, slow, and easy to sneak around or pick away at from long distances. There's no denying that getting smushed isn't a particularly glorious way to go out, but steadfast mech naysayers make deaths by robot feel like a constant issue, while Epic's data says otherwise. I don't inherently worship data, but seeing the numbers puts what Reddit and streamers and pros are mad about into perspective. And there's a little graph here. Let me see what this is about. So this is average brute eliminations per game. This is average brute eliminations per game for each category. In solos, there's an average about 4 kills. In duos, there's an average about 6.2, maybe. 6.5, I'm sorry. Yeah, 6.5, 6.5 kills. And then for squads, it's 6 kills. For Team Rumble, it's just over 6, so about 6.2. Arena solos, 1. Arena trios, 1. just over 1, like 1.5. So that's really surprising. And to be fair, hold on, there's a little bit more article here to read. So there are less than 7 average eliminations by mechs per game across every mode in Fortnite. Out of 100 players, that's not quite the steel pestilence hashtag remove the mech makes it seem. And then there's another graph that percent of brute eliminations per game, and the percentages are all under 25. They're all under 25%. I mean, way under 25%. They don't even get halfway to 25%. They're responsible for a tiny percentage of eliminations per match, and I'd honestly rather get stepped on by a happy 4th grader getting their first kills via robot suit than a sweaty build master whose skills I respect but will never, ever meet. Turns out the mechs are actually good, actually. So says James Davenport of PCGamer.com, is where I get all my articles from. So, I honestly, so to be fair, my opinions on this are, I don't like the mechs. Like I said, we had that incident where a group of mechs came and absolutely destroyed us. A group. Not just 1 or 2, but 3 mechs came and killed my whole squad. And I was really pissed off by that. I was really mad at that, and it's raining really hard outside. I'm sure you guys can hear that in the background. I apologize. It's just loud, and I can't do anything about that. Nature has its way of making its presence known. Oh yeah, that's loud on the readout. But like these mechs have honestly, they're not all that. I don't think it's worth keeping them. So a 4th grader can get his first victory royale. You kidding me? The majority of people who play this game are young. They're 12. They are the young people, and they are the ones who build well. They are the ones who end up kicking our butts. For me, I'm a non-builder, and yet and still I've had a solo victory. I have a solo victory royale, and I suck at Fortnite. I suck at Battle Royale games in general, especially Fortnite because there's building involved. And in a game where there isn't building, my chances are a little bit better, like Blackout or something like that, from Call of Duty, from Black Ops 4. But besides that, there's really no reason. There's no reason to have the mechs in there. I've gotten wins without the mech. The mech shouldn't be the make or break for somebody because they're not good at Fortnite. Because you can still be a great shooter and still be great at hiding, sneaking, and all that other stuff and still win a game. I'm evidence of that. And Epic, if you want some more reference of why you should remove the mechs, I'm right here. I'm sitting here. The person who's gotten victory royales just from sneaking around and hiding in a bush. Oh yeah, every time I've won, I've used a bush. And not just like the bush that are in the world, but bushes that you get from chests and stuff like that. So you can go mobile with it. I've won with that. Didn't need a mech for it. I didn't need a mech. I won with just a bush and a couple shotguns and a scar. But I did it. I did win. So you cannot say that they're good because of that, because they're bringing players of all skill levels together. I'm a bottom level. I'm at the bottom level when it comes to skill. In Fortnite. I'm at the bottom. And yet, I still have a win. It took, 60, 70 games to get there, but I still got there. I still got that win. So, I still don't see why. And getting the mechs, it didn't improve my chances of winning, at all. At all. Because they're that terrible. So, you know what? It is what it is. Fortnite, you can have fun with that. But having unsatisfied players could mean a drop in the number of people playing your game. That's just from what I've seen with past experiences. But they go ahead and do what they want to do if they feel like it's a good decision. Whatever. They're the ones who will either benefit or pay for it later. So that's all I can say about that. So some other follow-up news. We had a Borderlands YouTuber/streamer who was under investigation for quote-unquote leaking some footage from Borderlands 3. The title of the article is The Borderlands YouTuber being investigated by 2K no longer has a channel. Article from Fraser Brown. This is about 8 hours ago. So last week, Borderlands 3 YouTuber Submotto told viewers that private investigators interviewed him about leaks from the upcoming game. Submotto said he shared the information, but had just stumbled across it. 2K and parent company Take-Two claim otherwise, and that they'd been investigating him for nearly a year. This resulted in a hashtag sprouting up calling for people to boycott Borderlands 3, while Submotto decided to take a break from posting videos and deactivated his Twitter account. His YouTube channel remained, but that's no longer the case. Submotto's channel was hit with 7 copyright strikes after his last video on leaked Borderlands 3 details, but most of them were overturned and his videos continued to be available. Visiting his channel today, however, you won't find anything. After Submotto recorded the video regarding the investigation, more copyright claims were made by 2K, allegedly ending up at more than 100 before his channel disappeared. Before he took a break, Submotto said that he'd think about returning next month, but he'd lost his enthusiasm for Borderlands and making videos. In quotes, he said, this is something I read from the article last week. "I don't know if I want to play the game. I don't know if I want to make videos. I don't know where I'm going to be at," he said. "I haven't been keeping up with anything. I haven't even watched the new character trailers. And I'm still stoked for the characters like Flack and stuff. But I think I've just been too close to the source for too long. I just need to step away from Borderlands, man." 2K claims that his actions were illegal and were negatively impacting the experience of other content creators and our fans because the details were incomplete or untrue. People are ravenous for the leaks, though. So those fans don't seem very impressed with the way the publisher has handled things. So that's interesting. So the first thing I want to kind of say with this, I think he is. I think in this situation, I do think he's guilty. Of doing these things. The only reason I say this because all of a sudden he's just not interested in Borderlands anymore. All of a sudden he just completely lost interest. Like someone who would be innocent in this situation, I don't think they'd lose interest. I think they'd still be like, trying to they'd be still excited for the game, If I haven't done anything, I'd be like, guys, I didn't do it, but I'm still excited for your game. Thanks for accusing me, though. But there's got to be there's something there, because you don't just instantly lose interest in this stuff. You're being investigated. You've been investigated for almost a year by these guys, so something's definitely up, And there's no sense of really hiding that. Like if you've been doing this, just come clean. Over 100 copyright strikes appeared on his channel before it disappeared. That's an insane amount of copyright strikes, and I have not seen that on anybody else's channel yet, unless it happened in the past and I missed it. But that's an insane amount. Like if you guys aren't familiar with copyright strikes on YouTube, these don't come out like often. Copyright strikes are they used to be a thing where on YouTube you get 3, you're out. 3 strikes, you're out. Simple, easy rule of fair. But 100, that's insane. Like that's an insane amount that you should never experience ever. But this guy apparently he did some bad stuff. So consequences are consequences. On to our next article. I just have nothing more to say about that. Like that just left me speechless to see like that has happened to him. And yet he has nothing to say on whether he did or did not do these things. So, I'm going to leave that for you guys, but it is what it is. So Anthem's lead producer, Ben Irving, is leaving BioWare. Okay, yeah, scroll all the way down. So my mouse has been having issues. I don't know what it is, but I scroll down just a little touch and it goes all the way to the bottom of the screen, and it makes it horrible to scroll up and down with these articles, and it's annoying, and I wish it would stop because I'm literally scrolling one click, scrolling down just a little bit, and it goes like down all the way to the bottom of the page, and I'm like, why do you do that? Ben Irving, the lead producer of Anthem and the face of the game since long before its release in February, has announced that he's leaving BioWare for a job at another developer. And in its tweet, he says, this is the first out of the 3 tweets that were pertaining to this. After 8 amazing years of BioWare, I have made the decision to move on and have accepted an exciting opportunity at another gaming company. Since the first time I played Baldur's Gate many, many years ago, BioWare was the dream place I always wanted to work. I will forever be grateful to all the people who gave me the chance to work on great products with amazing people. I believe Anthem has a bright future. There's a great team working on it, and I look forward to following its progress and playing it from the sidelines. He wrote. Again, I'm literally just waiting on my mouse to scroll down. Like, I'm not doing anything except for sitting here and waiting for my mouse to scroll down. This is extremely annoying. All right. I have really enjoyed interacting with the Anthem community, streams, Twitter, and Reddit through the good times and the tough times. You are all in great hands with @Durokaz, I'm sorry, I read that wrong, the core community lead, Jesse Anderson, and BioWare Global Community Lead, Andrew Johnson, not the president, and have been for some time now. I wish nothing but the best for all of you, Ben. Irving didn't reveal where he's going, but his departure may result in some concern within said community. BioWare finally launched the long-delayed Cataclysm earlier this month, and the reaction appears to be muted. Not exactly negative, but not particularly enthusiastic either. EA has vowed to stick with the game, and so far it's stayed true, but losing the head guy on the development team in the midst of efforts to turn things around, especially when he's going to do the same kind of work just somewhere else, isn't the sort of thing that automatically inspires long-term confidence. And to be honest, no, that does not inspire long-term confidence. That actually makes a huge concern. That's the end of the article. But that would make me worried. Like this, a lead guy has left the company that makes these games. And to be fair, in my head, when I first saw this article, I was like, is he? In my head, I'm thinking like, Anthem must be that bad. One of their the lead producer is leaving. That's never good. That's never, ever good to have your lead producer walk off. Not walk off, but to be leaving the company. Especially when they're trying to rejuvenate Anthem, and then they just released Cataclysm, which is a new project for them. So with all that going on, and then you just have your lead producer all of a sudden, I'm leaving. Bye. I'm going somewhere else to another gaming company. To me, that says that something's up, and that there are some issues that will become revealed soon enough. That maybe the game is a flop. I mean, obviously it's not that good since we don't hear about it as much. This is the first major news we've had about Anthem since, I don't know, its release. The game came out and then it went quiet. And that's about it. And then Cataclysm, that's it. Yeah, the article that I read a few weeks ago that I did on the show, nothing. I haven't heard anything since then. This is the first time I've seen Cataclysm re-mentioned with an article. So we'll see what goes on. So we have another I should say top guy leaving. So Halo Infinite 3 creative director Tim Longo has left 343 Industries. Halo Infinite director Tim Longo has left 343 Industries in what Kotaku described as a leadership shakeup at the studio. That also includes a change in roles for executive producer Mary Olson. Longo himself had reportedly moved to a new position at 343 a few weeks ago. Microsoft confirmed Longo's departure in a statement saying that roles and responsibilities of various team members regularly evolve to meet the needs of a game throughout the development. We have recently had two changes Come on, computer, don't screw me over like this. I just want to scroll the article and have some fun and read for the peoples. We recently had two changes to the Halo Infinite development team. Our executive producer, Mary Olson, will now take charge of the campaign team. On Halo Infinite as the lead producer, utilizing her many years of experience at 343 to help craft a great campaign for fans, Microsoft said. Additionally, Tim has recently departed our team, and we are truly thankful for his many contributions to our game, our studio, and the Halo universe. We wish Tim nothing but the best in his future endeavors, typical thing when you probably get fired. The overall creative vision and production of the game remains led by Chris Lee, studio head of Halo Infinite. Tim joined 343's Industries in 2013 and served as the creator-director on Halo 5. Prior to that, he filled the same role at LucasArts on the canceled FPS Star Wars First Assault and served as creative director on the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot at Crystal Dynamics. It's not known where Longer will go from here, but on August 7th, he volunteered his services to help create a video game called Effing Do Something, based on a quick gag made by talk show host Seth Meyers. Okay, following the El Paso, Texas, Dayton, and Ohio mass shootings. Oh, there's the tweet. All right, so yeah, okay. That game was to make it known, make it more popular, and make it more known that video games aren't the reason why people are violent, which is totally true. And it's been proven many times over and over and over again, considering how much of the population plays video games versus how much of the population ends up, being mass shooters or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, the evidence is clear. The evidence is pretty darn clear. I mean, I'm not going to get into all that now, but it's pretty clear what's going on here. It looks a bit like a joke in itself, but a separate tweet, Longo said, he's stone serious. And in quotes, it says, "Don't know what will come of this, but I've wanted to do activist gaming projects for a while, and Seth's satire on this just pushed me over the edge," he wrote. "We'll see how quickly I can get moving. Probably obvious, but this will be pro bono and proceeds to charity." Halo Infinite is currently expected to come out for the 2020 holiday season. All right then. That's interesting. So I'm in this article, it seems like he did leave on his own, which is good. It's always good to walk out on your own 2 feet rather than being kicked out on your butt. That's always a good sign. So the last article that we have here for you guys, it's a really good one. So this free game only has one tiny enemy, and you've got to grow it into a boss. Before we get into this article, though, I really want to mention that we've got some exciting news that we are now available on 10 different platforms. We are now available on Apple Podcasts. We're now available on Google Podcasts. We're available on Spotify, Spreaker, Radio Public, Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor, Radio Public. I'm sorry, hold on. Let me just freaking pull it up because I honestly forget which ones I'm available on. Because sometimes, with 10, and this is still being new to me, being on all these platforms. Oh my gosh. Because the article is not loading. That's what I'm waiting for. Because I do like this article, and I'm really not happy that this is what's happening. Just reload. It's upsetting that this is happening now when I'm recording and when I'm doing this for you guys. But we're 10 different platforms. And again, I can never say it enough, but I never thought we'd get to 10 platforms with a sponsored podcast. So we're sponsored, and we're we're having a good time. And I'm gonna take the time to insert another sponsor ad right here. All right. So yeah, I mean, thanks to Anchor for letting me put myself out there. Thanks for them for helping me put myself out there, and thanks for them for sponsoring this broadcast and this podcast, this journey that I'm on. I'm so glad that you guys have been along or for the journey. And I'm gonna pull it up on Anchor right now. My internet's being slow and really stupid today. I don't appreciate it. So we are available on Anchor for one. And then we're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spreaker. So if you want to find my podcast, you can search it where you get your podcasts from. So that's amazing. And I got the email this morning that I got 2 emails this morning that I was on Breaker and Apple Podcasts today. I was that was insane. Like that was insane to hear that and get those emails. And I'm still like so happy to know that my podcast is here. Like this is where my podcast. You can find my podcast in 10 different places. 10. That's insane. And then if you don't follow me on social media, follow me. I mean, I have a Twitter. I have a Facebook page, Oof. And if you haven't become a supporter yet, why not? Become a supporter today for the podcast. And you have options. Like you can become a supporter all over on patreon.com /GN radio. Or you can become a supporter directly through Anchor for options of, you can just do from $10 a month to just $1 a month. To the price of a candy bar, you could be supporting this podcast and helping it grow, helping me get better equipment in the studio, and just helping me be able to keep doing this show for you guys on a more consistent basis, because I want to be able to do, 2 shows a week, even more occasionally. It'll be an opportunity to get more guests on the show because I'll have more time to be able to do it and focus on it. So if you guys want to help me out, go on Anchor right now if you're not listening to this on Anchor already. But go there, become a supporter. Or actually, there should be a button on any platform that you find me on one of the 7 platforms that host my podcast. You can find a support the show button, and you can go ahead and click that and be a supporter today and help me out and help the show out. So from Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Casts, or Radio Public, there is a button on the website if you find my little homepage for the show, and there's a support the podcast, become a supporter. Click that button. It'll be there, and you'll love it. It's awesome. And then on YouTube, there are links as always. On Spotify, I make sure there's links there too. And on Spreaker, I make sure there's links. So let's get to this last article and finish off the show. This free game, like I said, has only one tiny enemy, and you've got to grow it into a boss. This is from Fraser Brown 8 hours ago. Despite the name One Monster RPG, despite the name One Monster RPG isn't really an RPG. It's set at the very end of an adventure where you've killed every single monster apart from one. There are no more quests or mystical artifacts or bosses. There's just one baby slime. Killing the slime is easy. It's level 1, while you're at level 99. One hit, and it's a gunner. Unfortunately, it won't give you enough experience points to get to level 100. The true goal of One Monster RPG. That really only leaves one option. Feed that slime. Feed it until it's a gargantuan monster that can swallow buildings whole. All you need to do is let that slime chase you around, making sure that you lead it to things that it can snack on. Dogs, children, farms. They're all fair game. It can eat anything that's a lower level. If it catches you, it's effectively game over, as your only option is to kill it. That's all there is to it. But I love it to bits. I should maybe feel more guilty about making a monster eat villagers and indeed villages. just so I can get some XP. But in my defense, none of them moved out of the way. Maybe they really wanted me to hit level 100 too. I'm innocent in all of this. It's a fun subversion of, but the highlight is really the art. It's a world of mostly illustrated paper cutouts, giving the whole thing a tabletop RPG vibe. And while they don't do much, and most of them do nothing at all, they still manage to exude a lot of charm, especially the slime. It's a gormless eating machine that grows increasingly ridiculous the larger it gets, but I can't help but love the bouncy fella. One Monster RPG is free on itch.io, so if you want to go check that out, it's on itch.io. Again, that's itch.io. Go check that out, it's free. And yeah, I mean, the concept of the game and the way it looks from the screenshots I see it looks pretty nice, because it is paper cutouts, so it does look like a tabletop game kind of thing. It kind of gives me like a Paper Mario kind of vibe, like the older Paper Marios, like the one on the N64. It really does kind of give a vibe like that, and that is a really interesting thing we got going on there. So I'll definitely be playing it. If you guys want to play it, I'll make sure I'll leave a link wherever you find this podcast, now that it's on multiple platforms. Oh man, but I'm really excited about that, because now we're on 10 different platforms, and it's amazing. Like, it's absolutely amazing. Like what even? How did we even get here? And I say we because this is not just me. There's no way this podcast could ever be just me. Because there are so many people over the years who've helped me get to where I am now. And then there's just people now who, just found out about the podcast and like, oh, what? This is a podcast? And they support it in their own way. So it's pretty nice to know that I have people here that are, supporting the show in any way that they can. Like, it's awesome. I will hopefully have more guests on before. I want to have a guest on before I end the season, just so I can cap it off and leave it on the good note without any regrets. So we'll work on getting that guest for you guys, and we'll make it happen. But it's almost the end of season 1. It took 4, god dang it, I always say 3. It took 4 years to get here. 4 years. If anybody doesn't know, podcast started way back on YouTube. Back in 2015 is when I started the podcast. It's 2019 now. Almost 2014. Almost 20. Wow. I'm going backwards in time. I have a time machine. I'm sorry. I get confused all the time. It's almost 2020. And this podcast would be 5 years old next year. And that's amazing. But we'll be in season 2. Hopefully. It may take us another 4 years to get to season 2. I'm just kidding. At episode 60, we'll cross over to season 2, and it'll be an amazing time. We'll have more guests, and I have to double check some things, because I believe I have screwed up. There's another podcast coming that I've been invited to. 2, actually. So I'll hopefully have some episodes for you guys to listen to and check out, because I may have forgotten. When I say forgotten, that's a lie. I didn't forget. We have group chats, so I just have to make sure I keep looking at the group chat, because if I forget, it'll be not good, and I'll be like, supposed to do something, but I forgot. So yeah. So if you guys want to go support the podcast, please do. You can do it through PayPal, Patreon, Anchor itself. Donate through there, or you can support the show through there, and I would really hugely appreciate it, because this show has been a 4-year project that's finally getting through its first season, and then from here we're just going to keep going. If there's news that pops up, I will be there to read it. If there's anything you guys personally will have requests for, I still take those, because I used to do that a little bit more often, but with the lack of people watching the show, and the lack of people suggesting ideas and topics, I'm just like, well, all right, keep doing my thing then. because I take it as a good thing sometimes when people don't suggest things, because that means sometimes that either they can't come up with something, or that, you know what, you're doing fine. We like what you're talking about. I usually take it as the latter, because I like to think of it in that way. So, thank you everybody so much for listening. It's been a wonderful podcast. I appreciate everything that you guys done for support season 1, and hopefully you guys will be here for season 2 as well. And I'll be back with more guests. Like, this is a fun show. I love doing this, and I don't ever regret any episodes that I've done. Every episode I listen back to, I'm like, yeah, I could have said that. I could have said that a little bit quicker, so I could have tightened it up here or whatnot. But I never fully regret any of the podcasts I've done. None of them. Anything that I put out there for a reason. Because I took time, I thought about it. I'm like, do I want to put this out? Yes, I do. So, if you haven't checked me out on YouTube yet, go check me out on YouTube. Check out the rest of season 1. Check out the 4 years that it took to get here. Check out the 4 years worth of podcasts that it took to get here. And the first one you'll love, because it's 7 minutes long. It's really quick. It won't take you too long to get through. So thanks everybody so much for listening. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Flying from my head. Let's kiss the